Welcome to Action College. Today, in class of English, we are going to study many things. We are going to talk about the ways of giving advice and the ways of suggesting in English.
Gana action, niba ushaka kwiga ndimi gana action, ushaka kuba umusirimu gana action.
So also you can use this way. It will be wise, of course, when you are going to give the something that shows that you are very intelligent about something or you are confident about what you are saying. So you can use like, it will be wise. It will be wise to. You can follow it again, the base verb. And of course, I can give you an example. For example, it will be wise to back up your files regularly. You know that when you don't back up your files, it will be lost. So it means that as you are seeing here, you can advise someone to back up. Even it's not to back up only, even you can tell someone it would be wise to help your friend in need. So here it means that it is very clear that it is an advanced way of giving advice. Also, you can say to be advised to get a second opinion. So there is a time you think that someone needs an idea. So of course, you can do it. Now you can say that it will be good, it will be wise to get a second option. Maybe you think that someone considered which is not appropriate. Of course, you can tell someone that from today, you can change to that. It is an advice. It will be wise to get a second opinion. Pay attention. To use this phrase, it is when you think that what you're going to suggest is highly recommended to someone. So let's see the seventh way of, but before, let me give you how you can reply. So you can say, absolutely, so I agree with that. So absolutely, I agree with that. That is a way of agreeing if you think that it's a good idea. So these ways, you can use it. Number 8, you can say that you should seriously consider. Of course, maybe it is in a meeting, you're with the boss, with the team workers. So you must suggest something you think that the people can pay attention to. So like you say, you should seriously consider. Maybe you should seriously consider opening new branch, maybe you can say that you should seriously consider ending that partnership. Of course, this is not about business only. Remember, it's everything. Just I gave you an examples, but you can adjust according to what you want to say. For example, here say you should seriously consider ending that partnership. Maybe it is between, even you can say that you should seriously consider building a new relationship with the people or building a new connection to the people. So even you can say you should consider starting a new journey of life. So that is a way of suggesting or giving advice to someone. If you think that something someone gave you is good, you can say, yeah, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try. Or it's worth trying. Also, you can say so when you need to give an advice to, when you are replying to the advice of someone else. So that is how you can use it. So let's see the last way of giving advice professionally and fluently. You can say it is advisable. It's advisable to do something. Of course, this like when you are encouraging people to do something, you think that also it is the best option you can use. For example, you can say it's advisable to check the contract before signing it. This is very crucial because sometimes people sign contract without caring about what is there inside. But maybe you must care about if it is affecting you or not. That's why you can suggest or you can give advice to someone. It's advisable. Meaning that in normal life, the first advice is to sign something you read or something you took care about it. So also you can say it's advisable to consult a lawyer. So a lawyer, you can be maybe in a court, maybe you can want to go in a court. Before you go there, you can consult a lawyer to know if what you're going to say is appropriate. This is an example just. Even you can say it's advisable to think about what you're going to do. Even it can be starting business, can be starting a new career. You can always, it is advisable to do something else. It means that it is a good way to give an idea. You can see someone lost a direction, so you can tell him that it's advisable to think about before, to think twice before implementing anything. So those are 9 ways of giving advice. From today, you're not going to give advice like someone who is still on low level of learning English, but now you're going to speak like native speakers. Of course, when you're a native speaker, there is something you don't use because you are fluent or you are familiar with the language. So from today, you're going to use those 9 ways of giving advice. So my second step is going to be to give you 5 ways of suggesting ideas. Of course, maybe sometimes you can think that to give advice the same as to suggest or to give idea. No, it is not the same. There is some slight different. So that's why we are going to see 5 ways of giving suggestions. First, you can say that you think that that idea is very important. So in English, you have many ways of giving ideas without pushing someone. Now, there is a professional way, especially when you like to interact with the people, there is a professional way you can give your advice, your suggestion. For example, one possible solution could be outsourcing the work. Maybe you think that this is a good idea, this is the best way of doing your job well. Maybe you can say one possible solution could be revising timeline of something. Even it can be deadline of something. Maybe you're going to submit something. You can suggest idea of revising it. You know, when you are going to report something at work, you need to revise before or to review what you are going to report. So here also it is advisable. So if you're replying, you can say that makes sense. But also if your answer is no, you can say that what you're thinking, maybe it is not what is necessary now. Also it is to reject. So, but here we are going to see the second way of giving idea. So you can use this way. How about we? How about we? So you can use it when you're suggesting, when you're giving idea to someone. While I'm still talking about this, how about also you can use it with gerund. You can say, how about reading new book? How about taking new hobbies? How about going out? How about... So there are many ways you can use this how about. You can say how about we plus base verb, or you can use how about we plus that base verb, or how about plus gerund of the verb. So that's why it is very important. But for this, how about we, you can say, how about we postpone the meeting until next week? So that is good way. So the next example can be, how about we switch a different platform? Maybe you normally use Facebook, you normally use X, you normally use WhatsApp. But for example, if you like advertising in your business, of course, you can switch the ways of giving the ways of advertising. Maybe if you like to do something, if you are somewhere who are there who want to try different way, you can say, how about we switch to a different platform? So how about we open new thing of doing something else? Maybe how about going somewhere? So if you say how about, you must care about these things. If you want to use subject after about, you say how about subject plus the base verb, or you can use how about plus gerund, like taking, reading. So that is. So if you think that it's a good idea, you can say that might work well, or that it could work. So that's the way of replying to this suggestion. But if you think that is not a good suggestion, maybe you can say it can't work. It can't work means that that is not appropriate idea. But if you think that is good idea, you can say that might work well. So a third way is to use this phrase called let's consider the possibility of. You know, normally in English when you are using preposition, or after preposition we can use the in form of the verb, or what we call in English gerund. So that's why there we suggested that you can use gerund or a noun. If you're using noun, very good. If you're using gerund, also it's good. So let's see this phrase in sentence. You can say, let's consider the possibility of hiring more staff. Maybe you are suggesting something to your colleague, or you are suggesting something to your manager. So you can say like, let's consider the possibility of hiring more staff. If it is your friend, you can say just, let's consider possibility of going out tonight. Maybe you can say, let's consider possibility of visiting a new country. Why not? Like Rwanda. So now you can say that let's consider the possibility of remote work. Remote work means that this is the work which is not easy to do, but when you're still finding a job, you can do every work. So you can suggest to someone this is a best idea. Also, the fourth one, you can say it might be worth plus gerund. Wow, this is very good way of suggesting idea. You know, something worth is not everything, but if you think that the idea you are giving is the best option, or it can fit somewhere else, you can use this, of course. That's why you can say it might be worth plus gerund. For example, it might be worth looking into that alternative supplier. So you think that you are suggesting, but this you think that there is another alternative way that could be best. So that's why here you can say it might be worth. Also, you can say it might be worth attending the conference. Why not? Maybe it might be worth. It's a possibility. Here it is a possibility we're talking about, but that possibility you think that it's worth doing. That's why it is very necessary to care about this. So if you think that that is a good idea, you can say you're right. It's worth considering seriously. There is a time a person can give you like, it might be worth going to hospital now. Maybe it might be worth going to pharmacy, maybe to going to study masters. You see, it is an idea you're giving to someone. You see someone maybe has the ability of doing something, but is sitting there like someone who don't, what to do. So you can say that it might be worth doing something. So that's why you can say, oh, you're right, right? So you're right, it's worth considering seriously. That's why it is very important to care about this too. Number last way of giving suggestion or giving idea to someone, you can say perhaps. Perhaps, we use it like possibly, we use it like maybe, we use it like it's possible. So that's why it is possibility of something. You can say perhaps we could look into, of course. There you follows it again by noun or gerund. So that's why you can say perhaps we could look into more cost-effective method. Maybe you want something which is less cost. So that's where you can suggest this. But care about this. Remember, I told you the structure. That structure, it will help you always. Maybe I used some of the ways of building this sentence, but if you want to do something else, it will depend on what you want. If it is a verb, remember, put there in ing form or gerund, or if it is a noun, it's fine. So for example, you can see that's an interesting option. Let's research it. So if you think that is a good idea, you can say that's an interesting idea, that makes sense, that's a good point. Those are different ways of replying to ideas. So from today, you're not going to sound like someone who don't use English regularly. No, you're going to sound like a fluent one in your giving advice and giving or opinions or sharing your ideas. So from today, I hope you're going to sound like a native speaker. So now, I can tell you that thank you for watching. And if there is a comment, I can encourage you to leave their comment. If you have a question or you want to create a sentence and I can check for you if it is right. So you're welcome. Thank you and see you next time.
Gana action, niba ushaka kwiga indimi, gana action, ushaka kuba umusirimu, gana action.